Well, hello, it's Bobi aka Paginator, and it's time to do the November TBR game. We might as well say it, address the elephant in the room. Yes, my hair looks different today. I actually went to the salon, I got it cut, and then the gal that cut it put some mousse in and stuff, but just didn't really spike it up like I usually do, and I just couldn't be bothered to do anything else with it because I'm already in my pajamas. I'm just being cozy, so we're just gonna let it lie down today. All right, let's go get into the TBR rolls. Hey, let's get into it with roll number 1. Well, that was anticlimactic. Let's start with the middle grade. Green pie in there. And a flower in the title or on the cover. Okay, roll number 1, a middle grade with a flower in the title or on the cover. I am going to read Lay and the Fire Goddess. This is by Malia Mauna Kea. Probably said that wrong. This says, curses aren't real. At least that's what 12-year-old part Hawaiian Ana Leilani Kamae'u thinks when she listens to her grandma's folk tales about sacred flowers and family guardians. Anna's friends back home in Colorado don't believe in legends either. They're more interested in science and sports, real tangible things that stand in total contrast to Anna's family's embarrassing stories. So when Anna goes back to Hawaii to visit her tutu, she has no interest in becoming the heir to her family's history. She's set on having a touristy fun vacation. But when Anna accidentally insults Pele the fire goddess by destroying her lehua blossom, a giant hawk swoops in and kidnaps her best friend, and she quickly learns just how real these mo'olelo are. In order to save her friends and family, Anna must now battle mythical creatures, team up with demigods and talking bats, and evade the traps Pele hurls her way. For if Anna hopes to undo the curse, she will have to dig deep into her Hawaiian roots and learn to embrace all of who she is. I love the idea of this. I've only been to Hawaii once, but I absolutely loved it. I would go back in a heartbeat, and actually in November, my parents are going for 2 weeks, and do I get to go with them? No! They're retired. They're allowed to do whatever they want. And they don't have to bring their kids with them. That's weird. But yeah, there we go. Lay in the Fire Goddess. It sounds like it's going to be really fun. Roll number 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Blue blank. Blue pie in there. Oop, stay. And blue blank, set in a different world or country than yours. Rule number 2, blue blank, set in a different country or world than yours. And I recently read Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and so I'm going to be reading Mate, which is the sequel. Now, you know me with sequels in this type of video. I don't like to read the synopsis of a sequel because it might spoil the first one for those who haven't read it. So I'm actually going to grab Bride and read the synopsis of that one for you, and then you'll just know that this is the continuation of that story. So here's a look at the cover of Bride, and the synopsis says, Misery Lark, daughter of a powerful vampire councilman, is an outcast. Her days of living anonymously among the humans are over. She's been called upon to uphold an alliance between the vampires and their mortal enemies, the Wares. Wares are ruthless and unpredictable, and their alpha, Lo Morlin, is no exception. He rules his pack with absolute authority, but not without justice or feeling. It's clear from the way he tracks Misery's every movement that he doesn't trust her. If only he knew how right he was. Misery has her own reasons to agree to this marriage of convenience. Reasons that have nothing to do with politics or alliances, and everything to do with the only thing she's ever cared about, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to get back what's hers. Now, I will say that this was super enjoyable. I actually listened to the audiobook, and the 2 narrators they had were fantastic. I checked to see if I could get the audiobook of the second one, but it's months and months of a wait on Libby, and I want to read it now. So we're going to read that one physically. But it's still, I get to go back to this same world, so I'm excited. I also do want to just give you a heads up that Bride is very steamy. It has quite a few sexy time scenes in there, so just be forewarned. Roll number 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go to yellow fantasy. Yellow pie in here. And we need fantasy, my card deck. That means we need this little Scottish tin. And we shall draw a card from here. Read a book with 4 stars or higher on Goodreads. So a fantasy with 4 stars or higher on Goodreads. Rule number 3 is a fantasy, and then we had to go to my card deck, and we had to find a book that was 4.0 stars or higher in Goodreads. And I found a book that has a 4.11, and that is Impossible Creatures by Catherine Rundell. I recently had an opportunity to go to an author event for this author at the King's English, which is a bookstore in the Salt Lake City that I've talked about many times. And it was for the second book in the series, The Poison King. This is the independent bookstore exclusive edition, which is kind of cool. I didn't know that they did such a thing. I wasn't able to actually attend the event after all, but the King's English very kindly shipped the book to me at no extra charge. So I really appreciated that for them. But I haven't read the first one yet, so let's find out what this is. The day that Christopher rescued a drowning baby griffin from a hidden lake would change his life forever. It's the day he learned about the archipelago, a cluster of unmapped islands where magical creatures of every kind had thrived for thousands of years until now. And it's the day he met Mal, a girl on the run, in desperate need of his help. Mal and Christopher embark on a wild adventure, racing from island to island, searching for someone who can explain why the magic is fading and why magical creatures are suddenly dying. They consult sphinxes, battle kraken, and negotiate with dragons, but the closer they get to the dark truth of what's happening, the clearer it becomes. No one can fix this. If the archipelago is to be saved, Mal and Christopher will have to do it themselves. This is the regular edition you can just get on Amazon. It does have red sprayed edges, which is kind of fun. And there is a map inside. And you know, I love books with maps, especially fantasy books. Rule number 4. 2. 1, 2 green, 1, 2 blue. Let's go for blue. Blue pie in there. And blue wild card. So that could really be anything. Okay, so I'm going to look at the books that are highest priority maybe and pick something from there. Rule number 4 got us a wild card. I am very excited about that because there is a book that I have to read this month. And have to as in, like, I desperately want to, not someone's forcing me to. But I guess I'm forcing me to. Anyway, it is The Things Gods Break. This is the sequel to The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. I read the first one last year and could not. I mean, I can't tell you where are my words. Like, I can't overstate how much I loved that book. It was absolutely captivating. I mean, I just loved it from page 1, and I have been waiting, trying to wait patiently, but waiting for the next one. So it is here. It is gorgeous. So let's take a look. Here's the first one. Sprayed edges on that one as well. Look at these two together. Beautiful. So like I did with the other series, I will read the synopsis of the first one for you. I mean, and papers. Again, this is the first book. Okay. The gods love to play with us mere mortals, and every 100 years we let them. I have never been favored by the gods, far from it, thanks to Zeus. Living as a cursed office clerk for the Order of Thieves, I just keep my head down and hope that the capricious beings who rule from Olympus won't notice me. Not an easy feat, given San Francisco is Zeus's patron city, but I make do. I survive, until the night I tangle with a different god. The worst god. Hades. For the first time ever, the ruthless Mercurial, king of the underworld, has entered the Crucible, the deadly contest that the gods hold to determine the new ruler to sit on the throne of Olympus. But instead of fighting their own battles, the gods name mortals to compete in their stead. So why in the underworld did Hades choose me, a sarcastic nobody with a curse on her shoulders, as his champion? And why does my heart trip every time he says I'm his? I don't know if I'm pawn, bait, or something else entirely to this dangerously tempting god. How can I when he has more secrets than stars in the sky? Because Hades is playing by his own rules, and death will win at any cost. Scenes from this book are flashing in my mind as I just read the synopsis, and like some of the feels are coming back, and I'm like, oh boy, I'm gonna have to read this very soon. So we'll do one more look at the sequel just in case you wanted to see that one again, because I mean, who wouldn't? It's beautiful. Roll number 5. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yellow. Let's go for a yellow. Another fantasy. And we have animal on the cover. Rule number 5, we have a fantasy with an animal on the cover. And I have Rewitched, which has a little kitty cat right here. This is by Lucy Jane Wood, and I have heard several booktubers talking about this one. I think Steph from Steph Loves, and I can't remember who else, but she's the one that's jumping to my mind. This says, in this spellbinding, warm, and cozy debut novel, a burned-out witch will need to turn to her friends and trust herself to find magic in her own life again. Belladonna Blackthorn hasn't lost her magical spark, precisely, but she hasn't seen it in a while either. With her witchcraft under wraps and a toxic boss making her day miserable, Belle is struggling to keep her beloved lunar books afloat and just make it through the day. The last thing she has time for is perfecting her magic. So when her 30th birthday brings a summons from her coven and a trial that tests her worthiness as a witch, Belle fears the worst. With only the month of October left to either prove herself or risk losing her magic forever, Belle will need all the help she can get from the women in her life, from an unlikely mentor figure, and even from an infuriating coven watchman who's sworn to protect her. Now, Sarah Beth Durst, who wrote The Spell Shop, which is a super cozy fantasy, has blurbed this as being completely charming and delightful and endearing. So, I mean, she knows how to write those kind of books. So if she thinks this is it, then yay. Yeah, this is very Halloween-y, and this is the November TBR game. Don't care. There's never a wrong time to celebrate Halloween. I will die on this hill. Rule number 6. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 blue. 1, 2, 3, 4 green. Oh boy. We're getting a lot of the same colors over and over again. Let's go for a green. Middle grade. Green, middle grade, find a YouTube recommendation. Okay, rule number 6 was middle grade YouTube recommendation. So I got on YouTube, typed in the search bar, middle grade books, and scrolled until I found a creator that I had watched before, because I didn't want to just pick some random person. So one of Alexandra Rosalind's books came up, or one of her videos came up, and it was from a couple years ago, I believe, but it was like cozy middle grades. So I found a book. It is The Mysterious Howling, which is the first book in the Incorrigible Children of Ashton Place series. I don't have a physical copy, but I found it on Libby, and I have known about this series for a little while, never read it. So let's read the little synopsis of this one. Of especially naughty children, it's sometimes said they must have been raised by wolves. The incorrigible children actually were. Discovered in the forests of Ashton Place, the incorrigibles are no ordinary children. Alexander keeps his siblings in line with gentle nips. Cassiopeia has a bark that is usually worse than her bite, and Beowulf is alarmingly adept at chasing squirrels. Luckily, Miss Penelope Lumley is no ordinary governess. Only 15 years old and a graduate of the Swanburn Academy for Poor Bright Females, Penelope embraces the challenge of her new position. Though she is eager to instruct the children in Latin verbs and the proper use of globes, first she must eliminate their canine tendencies. But mysteries abound at Ashton Place. Who are these 3 wild creatures? Why does old Timothy, the coachman, lurk around every corner? Will Penelope be able to civilize the incorrigibles in time for Lady Constance's Holy Day Ball? And what on earth is a Scottish? Penelope is no stranger to mystery, as her own origins are also cloaked in secrecy, but as Agatha Swanburn herself once said, things may happen for a reason, but that doesn't mean we know what the reason is, at least not yet. I remember hearing about this series years ago, and specifically remember hearing about the little boy named Beowulf, and at the time we had a boy in our school named Beowulf. I never met him. His family moved away before he reached the grade that I teach, but yeah, it's been ages and ages since I first heard about this. I think it's about time that I gave it a try. All right, we're going to swap pies. Roll number 7. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brown. Let's go pink young adult. Why can't I hang on to the pies? And pink YA, G's card deck. That's in the other room. I will be back in a moment. So I went to the office to find her board game and the cards, and I mislaid the cards. I put them somewhere else. They're probably in my craft room or something. So we're going to improvise with the game board. I've put it out here for you and kind of turned it sideways. The last time I played, I landed on this spot right here with the washi tape. So we're going to put Ron there, and I have my D20. So what I thought we'd do is we'd roll the dice, and then if we land on a blank circle, which usually means to pull a card, which we can't do, then we'll just roll again until we get on one that has a symbol, and we'll do the prompt that goes with the symbol. Yes? Good? I hope so, because that's what we're doing. Okay. 13. So this is going to take us off the edge of the board, so we'll come back to the very beginning, which is down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's blank, so we'll need to roll again. 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Blank again. Holy cow. 3. 1, 2, 3 plus 5. We move forward 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blank again. This could take a while. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Team Avatar. Hallelujah. We landed on something. So Team Avatar is a friend or family pick. I will be reaching out to someone to choose a book for me, and we'll go from there. Whew, we figured it out. Rule number 7, we got young adult, and then we had G's card deck, which we had to use her game board, and then we got Team Avatar, which is a friend or family pick. And I reached out to my friend Janelle, and she chose for me to read Glorious Rivals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the latest. It is part of the Grandest Game series. I need to double check that. Let me pull it up on Goodreads and I'll be right back. Okay, yes. So The Grandest Game is the name of the series. The series is kind of a spin-off of the Inheritance games. And so because this is number 2, Glorious Rivals, as per usual, I will read the synopsis of The Grandest Game, which is book number 1 in that one. But I also have to give you a little bit of backstory. So in the Inheritance games, we meet Avery Grams, who is approached seemingly out of the blue and is told that she has just inherited billions of dollars. And so in the Grandest Game series, this is an annual competition that Avery now runs, and it's part of her scheme to like spread the wealth. So this is the blurb for the Grandest Games, which I'll put a picture of right here. My copy is at school. 7 tickets, an island of dreams, the chance of a lifetime. Welcome to the Grandest Game, an annual competition run by billionaire Avery Grams and the 4 infamous Hawthorne brothers, whose family fortune she inherited. Designed to give anyone a shot at fame and fortune, this year's game requires one of 7 golden tickets to enter. With millions on the line, those 7 players will do whatever it takes to win. Some of the players are in it for money, some for power, some for reasons all their own. Every single one of them has secrets. Amidst it all is Grayson Hawthorne, tasked with a vital role in this year's game. But as tensions rise and the mind-bending challenge just push the players to their limits, physically, mentally, and emotionally, it soon becomes clear that not everyone is playing by the rules. So this one, like I said, is the sequel. My friend Shari read it, and she handed it to me, and she goes, there's going to be another one, or I'm going to throw a fit. So there will probably be more, because this author's too smart to just do, like, a cliffhanger ending and not follow it up. All right, rule number 8. 1. Blue blank or brown realistic. We haven't done a realistic yet, so let's do that. Brown pie in there. Sky in the title or on the cover. Rule number 8, we have sky in the title or on the cover, and I have a book that has a lovely sky on the cover. This is Just Until. It is about by Joseph Moldover, and it is realistic fiction young adult. 17-year-old Hannah Lynn has just one goal: to get out of Evans Beach, Maine. Where she lost her mother to cancer when she was just 4 years old, where her estranged sister Pauline fell apart before moving out, where her father Larry holds court as a local legend who once played 12 games for the Red Sox. Hannah has never fit in, but that doesn't matter now that she's finally on the cusp of escape. All she needs is a little help from her chemistry tutor Richard, a fellow junior who she finds equal parts compelling and infuriating. Then one winter night, Hannah's life is turned upside down. Pauline's 2 sons are taken by the state, leaving Hannah and Larry as the only people standing between the boys and the child welfare system. Her father promises that it will only be for a little while, just until Pauline gets back on her feet, but Hannah knows nothing is that simple when it comes to her troubled older sister. Hannah never wanted to take care of anyone but herself. Slowly, though, she finds herself drawn into her nephew's lives. Then circumstances change again, and Hannah finds herself torn between worlds, confronted with the choice between her own dreams and the needs of the two boys she's come to care for more than she ever thought she could. I am an aunt of nephews that I feel very close to, and I have never had to step in the role of raising them. I did babysit them one week when their parents went on a cruise, but that is not the same thing. But I can totally understand being a teenager and wanting to get out and then having that stopped. Like, nope, plans change, something else happens. So we'll see what happens to this young lady as she deals with this major disruption in her life. Roll number 9, 2. 1, 2 blue, 1, 2 green. Let's go blue. Blue pie in here. Oops. Put it there. Random wheel of titles. Okay. Okay, so we got a random wheel of titles. I went ahead and plugged in, I think it was 15 titles into a wheel, and we're going to spin it. I'm just going to spin it one time and let the wheel decide my fate. Here we go. Okay, Tress of the Emerald Sea. Let me take a minute to go grab that and I'll be right back. All right, here is the cover. I have the paperback copy that's very floppy. Love it. Brandon Sanderson is the author. And this is, the only life Tress has known on her island home in an emerald green ocean has been a simple one, with the simple pleasures of collecting cups brought by sailors from faraway lands and listening to stories told by her friend Charlie. But when his father takes him on a voyage to find a bride and disaster strikes, Tress must stow away on a ship and seek the sorceress of the deadly Midnight Sea. Amid the spore oceans where pirates abound, can Tress leave her simple life behind and make her own place, sailing a sea where a single drop of water can mean instant death. This sounds pretty awesome, plus it's Brandon Sanderson. Can we go wrong? I don't think so. Roll number 10. 1. Pink, pink, or pink. Pink pie in there. Random color palette generator. All right, rule number 10, we need a young adult and we need to do a random color palette generator. So another random thing. Let me pull one up and let's generate 3 times. I usually like to do that except for when we do the wheelie thing like we just did with the last one. So the third color palette that comes up is what we'll go for, I guess. Pastels. Look, this has, I mean, it has some black on it, true, but look, it has a lot of pastels. Let's do this one. It is Air of Storms. It is gorgeous. This is a Fairy Loot Special Edition. It has overlays that comes with it. Yes. Lauren Hamilton Murray is the author, and the synopsis says, when Blaze came into the world, she almost drowned it. Blaze, a rain singer, is born into one of the most powerful fire-wielding families in the Empire. Her birth summoned a devastating storm that resulted in the deaths of thousands, and she has spent her life as an outsider, reviled and feared. When Blaze and her twin brother Flint are selected to compete in the choosing right, the trials which decide the future rulers of the Empire, she's suddenly thrust into the limelight and into battle. Threats abound at the Golden Palace, where intrigue and romance await with not one but 2 handsome suitors, the enchanting crown prince and a dangerously alluring newcomer at court. As her powers strengthen and her fellow competitors fall, the throne is suddenly within her grasp. But in order to take the crown, she'll have to leave behind the stories that others have told about her and find the courage to write her own. It sounds awesome. It also was making me think, oh, what book have I read recently that had a girl at a palace and there was a prince and a newcomer at court? Was it the Nightblood Prince? That's what I was thinking of. But this, I'm sure, is going to be quite different because we have elemental magic and stuff, and that one had vampires. So, totally different. Just, yeah, no. Words. Roll number 11. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green. Let's go yellow fantasy. Yellow pie in here. Yellow fantasy, Sarah Renee card pick. That's very close to, it's essentially another color palette pick. So we're doing a lot of interesting things this time. Okay, so number 11, we need a fantasy and Sarah Renee card pick. This is basically another color palette. Sarah Renee Clark made these color cubes, and I use these for artsy purposes as well, but also sometimes to generate a book prompt. And we're going to do a random number generator from 1 to 500 because that's how many cards there are. And then we'll pull that card and see what color palette of book we need to find. Okay, 121. Now I need to sift through all of these cards here. Ooh, okay. So we've got kind of a taupey beige color, and then we go darker, and then some blues, and a mustardy. Is that a mustardy color? Clay is the name of the color, I guess. The color names are on the back. So we have gray, black, dark blue, steel blue, and clay. I guess that was gray, not taupe, but maybe the color in the camera is a little bit different. I shall take a moment to find something on my shelves and be back with you shortly. All right, we've got most of the colors here. We have gray on the ship as well as some black. We have dark blues and light blues, and then the lettering up here is fairly close to this clay color. So this book is Escape from Atlantis, and it is by Kate O'Hearn. And you can tell it's a fantasy because look at that. That took a while, by the way. You guys should be very grateful for video editing. Otherwise, you would have been watching my butt move back and forth across the camera field looking around. Ugh. Anyway, let's read. The last way that Riley wanted to spend spring break was studying whales on the family sailboat in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. With only her dad, aunt, and annoying cousin Alfie for company, she's so bored staring at the waves that she's starting to see mermaids between them. But when their boat is capsized during a sudden storm, Riley finds more excitement than she bargained for as she and Alfie are washed ashore with neither of their parents in sight. Where they've been shipwrecked is no deserted island, though. Atlantis is a place beyond imagination, inhabited by both people and incredible creatures ranging from unicorns and gargoyles to talking animals. But not everyone welcomes the cousins' arrival, and beneath the wonder of this mythical land lurk dangerous secrets. Something strange is happening to the inhabitants. What Riley wants more than anything is to find her father and go home. But the closer she gets to this goal, the more the islanders seem determined to keep her from reaching it. As Riley and Alfie unravel the mystery of the Atlantis and its most terrifying part, the Forbidden Zone, they realize that the clock is ticking. If they can't learn what happened to their parents and find a way off the island soon, it may be too late to leave. So this sounds really fun. Well, thinking about like being on the ocean and stuff all that time, I was thinking about when I was in Hawaii and I went on a whale watching trip. We saw sperm whales and we didn't get very close to them, but we were able to see a little pod. And they came up, and anyway, on that boat, it was like up and down and up and down. It, like, the only way that I could keep myself from completely vomiting all over everything was holding on to hope to see a whale and analyzing the color of the waves to see which Tim Holtz ink, distress ink pad I could use to recreate that color. And the whole time I was like, okay, is it Uncharted Mariner? I think it's Uncharted Mariner. I was just trying to focus so hard on not throwing up. And then finally we saw some whales, and unfortunately they were so far away I couldn't get a very good picture, but I'll go back through my Hawaii pictures, and if I have a decent one I can plug it in here. But anyway, it was making me think of this, and I can't blame her for not wanting to be on the ocean all the time. Like, I would be so sick. And it's just, there's nothing. Like, if you can't see the land, no, I don't blame her. And number 12. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pink. I just got done saying we haven't done an orange yet, so let's go there. Orange other is pretty much blue blank. It's just kind of miscellaneous stuff. Orange miscellaneous. I always say orange other because that's what Jade called hers. Orange miscellaneous. A Libby find. Okay. All right, roll number 12. We have a miscellaneous Libby find. I really want to knock a book off of my physical TBR, but we can do that if we find one on Libby that I have on my shelves, and I was able to find one. So the book I found on Libby is I Kissed Shara Wheeler, Casey McQuiston. So I do have this reserved, and I'll be able to get my copy very soon. And here we go. It says, Chloe Green is so close to winning. She spent the 4 years since her mom's moved her from Southern California to Alabama for high school, dodging gossipy classmates and the puritanical administration of Willow Grove Christian Academy. The goal that's kept her going, winning valedictorian. Her only rival, prom queen Shara Wheeler, the principal's perfect progeny. But a month before graduation, Shara kisses Chloe and vanishes. On a furious hunt for answers, Chloe discovers she's not the only one Shara kissed. There's also Smith, Shara's longtime quarterback sweetheart, and Rory, Shara's bad boy neighbor with a crush. The three have nothing in common except Shara and the annoyingly cryptic note she left behind, but together they must untangle Shara's trail of clues to find her. It'll be worth it if Chloe can drag Shara back before graduation to beat her fair and square. Thrown into an unlikely alliance, chasing a ghost through parties, break-ins, puzzles, and secrets revealed on Monogram stationery, Chloe starts to suspect there might be more to this small town than she thought. And maybe, probably not, but maybe more to Shara too. So, Casey McQuiston, there's probably something more to this kiss than just like a mysterious, let me come kiss you and then disappear kind of thing, because she does write queer fiction, and so I'm guessing there's going to be more to that, but it sounds like it's mainly a mystery, and that sounds like a great time. So hopefully the audiobook will be good, and we'll give it a go. All right, now that our rolls are done, we need to do our hat draw and our wooden dice roll. So 2 more books left. Our hat is my TBR. Well, it's supposed to be. I recently updated, but I haven't printed out all the slips and put them in. So fair warning, I could pull out a book that I've unhauled or already read or who knows what. But we're going to see what we can find in this hat. Red. I knew that it was going to happen. Red. Volume 4. So this is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Volume 4. I think I have read 4, but I haven't read all of them. Let me do a quick check. I have read 4. I have 6, 7, and 8 that I own that I haven't read yet. So I'm going to hang on to this one. If because we keep drawing books that I've already read. If we draw, let's say, 2 more and I still don't have one, then we'll just grab Volume 6 of Zelda. Read that one. Oh boy. I really, really need to update the hat. Oh, I don't think I've read this one. Found it. Can't Take That Away by Stephen Salvatore. To take center stage, they'll have to shatter the binary. Carrie Parker dreams of being a diva, but despite their ability to hit every note, emotional scars from their past and the stress of their beloved grandmother's spiraling dementia make it harder and harder for Carrie to find their voice. When they meet Chris, a singer-guitarist who makes Carrie feel seen for the first time in their life, then they meet Chris, With the rush of a promising new romance, Carrie wonders whether they have the confidence to audition for the lead role in their school musical production of Wicked. Some people might not approve of Carrie playing Elphaba, but they and their friends refuse to be silent. Told in alternating chapters spotlighting genderqueer Carrie's identifying pronouns, Stephen Salvatore's debut novel offers a powerful, uplifting anthem, swingy romance, and an affirmation of self-identity that will ignite the activists in all of us. Well, Carrie should just say, and nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was, is ever gonna bring me down. Okay, that'll be my only singing in this video, I think. Lastly, we have our wooden decider dice. These came from Barnes & Noble. And we have one that has the location of where you find the book and another that has the genre. So location dice first. I'm gonna roll on my table here. Audiobook. Nice. Okay. And dice for the genre. Classic. Ooh. It's been a while since I've read a classic. Okay, audiobook and classic. Let me see. I'm going to pull up Libby because I've got my iPad right here. And we'll see what we can find. Okay, I found a classic. I got on Libby, and you know you can search by category. And so I looked in classic literature. And immediately I saw A Tale of Two Cities, which I have never fully read. So we're gonna get that one. Here is the synopsis. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities begins with these famous words. On the eve of the French Revolution of 1789, the story follows Charles Darnay, a French aristocrat turned revolutionary, and Sidney Carton, a purposeless British lawyer in love with Darnay's wife Lucy. Sidney's love for Lucy inspires him to join the revolution alongside his friend Darnay, at a time when both France and England are experiencing tensions between the upper and lower classes. So I know that there's some kind of big sacrifice that one of the friends makes for the other one. And that's the only other thing I know about this book. And it was first released in 1859. So it is definitely a classic. I can't believe I've never read it. We have a big load of books for November, but I always have a big load of books. This is not new. So we're going to see if we can pick up all the physical ones and see what I've gotten myself into. Oh, wow. This is a lot. I can say, though, that I am genuinely excited about these books, and I hope that November is a good reading month. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do any fiction writing. Usually, I try to do like NaNoWriMo or something in November, and I don't even know if NaNoWriMo is a thing anymore. I know they shut down the Young Writers program, but I mean, November I associate in my mind with writing, but maybe now it'll just be reading because I have a heck of a lot of books to get through in the month, and while my parents are off in Hawaii, they'll be sending me pictures of the beaches and stuff, and who knows what kind of weather we'll have here, but it won't matter because I can be inside reading a book. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you for coming with me on this TBR game. Next time, my hair will be done better. And we'll see you soon. So have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.